Millions of Americans are now considered Canadian thanks to new law. Now, this right here is an interesting article I just came across, but is more interested not because more Americans may be considered Canadian, but for the opportunity that this actually brings. But let me read a little bit more about this so that you can get what we call a light bulb moment that might help you create a profitable, fun online business. So it says millions more Americans are eligible for Canadian citizenship after a new law was passed north of the border. The new law, which took effect on December 15th, opened up a pathway to claim citizenship by descent for anyone born before that date who can prove that they have a direct Canadian ancestor. Now, the law previously stated that, hey, if you had a parent that was born in Canada, then you would be able to easily qualify to become like a dual citizen or a citizen of Canada. But with this new law, as it states here, once again, previously citizenship by descent could only be passed down one generation. But under the new law, applicants can claim citizenship via a grandparent, great-grandparent, or even more distant ancestor. So, okay, yeah, you can become a citizen of Canada if you have a distant relative and you live in the United States. But how can you make that profitable? Well, the information is in the article, and it's actually in what we just read. So we're talking about ancestry. So that means, once again, your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents. But did you know that one of the number one ways for a person to earn an income online today is affiliate marketing? Now, how does that correlate to this article? Well, since we're talking about ancestry, why don't we actually just do a quick Google search? So let's pull up old reliable Google and let's type in ancestry affiliate program. Now you can kind of do this search for thousands, hundreds of thousands of different niches, and you will find that there's a lot of companies, not just one, but a lot of companies that actually have affiliate programs. So for example, if we look here at the top of the list, ancestry.com. So it shows here that they actually have an affiliate program, which means that if you are a skilled online marketer, you can actually share the opportunity to your target audience. You can start in this specific niche, creating content that's geared towards ancestry, finding out about where you come from. And then at the end of that content, you can actually direct those individuals to an affiliate link for this possible opportunity. Now, when you direct them to the link, to your personal affiliate link for whatever opportunity, you will be paid a commission. Now, commissions could be anywhere from 5% all the way up to possibly 50 or more percent commissions. But what happens? Well, when they see their ancestry, then an article like what we just read can be of benefit. So how would you feel if I was to share with you an opportunity to get access to your ancestry and you're a United States citizen and you've been thinking about possibly moving to Canada? What if you got your ancestry, DNA done, and you found that you had a grandparent or a great-great-grandparent that is from Canada? Now, if this helps you be able to become a citizen of Canada a lot easier, then wouldn't you say that's a win? And wouldn't I, as the person that shared the opportunity for you to get the information, wouldn't I deserve the opportunity to be compensated for that? Well, that's how affiliate marketing works. It's not just about showing people how to make money online by selling programs and trainings and coachings. There's literally millions of opportunities for you to make a legit income online, focusing specifically on niched down, opportunities. Now, how many people are taking advantage of this? I don't know, but I know that there's not a lot of people because this particular article just came out, right? So when we look at that article, it says that this article came out on April 24th. So the opportunity has been around for a long time, but until today, nobody has put a laser focus on how it could be a benefit. And if you don't keep up with the news and what's going on, then maybe you might have missed this back in December 15th, this changed. But now you know, and now you have a new way or new idea on how you can start a profitable business. So once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this message and got a light bulb moment. But let me just ask you one more thing. What is an opportunity without the proper training? So now you know that you have the opportunity to, start a business in a specific niche, but you still need to know the core principles of how to promote that opportunity, no matter what it is. So what if I had a way that you can actually learn the foundational skills, be able to learn how to market, promote any opportunity on this planet and make it your own? Well, if you're interested in that, I want you to comment hustle, and I have some information that I want to share with you that can lead you in the right direction. So once again, comment hustle, and I'll send you access to the exact same information that I use on a daily basis to build multiple business opportunities. See you on the inside.
On January 1st, the world will experience something unlike anything. It is the day the Hustleverse officially makes its debut. Welcome to the Hustleverse will be the first installment of the greatest collection of edutainment music to ever be created for the Hustleverse, and your first opportunity to get access to a movement designed to inspire, motivate, and fuel real hustlers. 2026 Album of the Year has arrived, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah. Everybody got a speech. Everybody got a quote. But when it's time to lift something heavy, that's when you see who's real. Talkers and builders. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission. One sell a dream with a smile, one bring tools for the fix, one love the sound of success, one love the word when it's missing. So I move with the builders, cause the fruit tell the difference. I seen them type facts, then they vanish when it's action. Whole timeline full of hype but no traction. They know every saying, every caption, every line, but can't produce one result if you give them the time. They'll debate you for hours, try to win with a phrase, while a builder take 10 minutes and change his whole day. I ain't mad at talking, words can spark a flame, but if it don't turn to work, it's just smoke with a name. I come from where the block had to share. If one got to play, we made room at the chair. Now I watch these lone wolf types bragging online, hold back in they bio, but they die on that grind. So I built me a system, put a map in the dirt, cause the truth ain't loud, it's consistent at work. If you can't carry bricks, don't call it love. I'm building a legacy, not a comment club. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission. One sell a dream with a smile, one bring tools for the fix, one love the sound of success, one love the word when it's missing. So I move with the builders, yeah, cause the fruit tell the difference, yeah. I used to take it personal, like why they don't support. Then I learned most folks clapping got no strength to live more. They tied from their own stones. They drowning in their own doubt. So they cheer for a second, then disappear when you're out. But I still keep receipts, cause patterns don't lie. If you only show up when it's easy, you not mine. See, a builder ain't perfect, builder bruising still here. Builder shaky some days, but he faithful to fear. Builder asks for the blueprint, not the gossip, not the tea. Builder say, show me steps, not tell me what to believe. Talker love being seen, camera hungry, ego fed. Builder love being solid, hands dirty, goes ahead. Talker chase validation like a drug in the night. Builder chase elevation, turn pain into a light. So when I pick my circle, I ain't picking by fame, I'm picking by effort. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission. Different mission. One sell a dream with a smile. One bring tools for the fixes. One love to work when it's missing. One move with the builders. Decision day, yeah, that fork in the road. Either stay in the crowd or commit to the code. Cause legacy get messy when your message ain't clear. They'll fight over who you were in a race while you're here. So I speak with precision, no fog in my tone. Who I am, what I do, what I'm building, set in stone. I'm building with believers, not browsers on the fence. Cause I like what you're doing, ain't the same as investment. Some can share a link, but can they help you build? Can they hold you accountable when you're ready to quit? Can they tell you the truth when your feelings get loud? Can they stay 10 toes when the wave hit the crowd? That's a builder. Someone solid when the spotlight gone. Someone playing with you daily till the harvest long. So if you want the freedom, bring discipline too. Cause the talk feel good, but the bill pull you through. Yeah. Talkers make noise. Builders make history. Choose who you are and choose who you build with.
Lead Generation 101 Creative Techniques. Are you finding it challenging to keep your affiliate marketing pipeline flowing with leads? You're not alone. The landscape is constantly evolving, and traditional techniques may not always cut it. That's why I've put together some out-of-the-box strategies to help you generate consistent leads that convert. Ready to supercharge your affiliate marketing game? Dive deeper into each strategy by checking out my latest article, Lead Generation 101 Creative Techniques. Comment leads for the techniques. Let's innovate together. Share your favorite lead generation techniques in the comments below. Welcome to the Hustleverse, where creativity clocks in and excuses clock out.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Now, from the looks of it, I'm looking at myself on the screen here, and I'm not sure if I'm a little bit frozen. So let me readjust my camera just to make sure that I'm showing up for you guys. But either way, you know, I show up whether you see me or not. I'm so consistent. I'm the most consistent. I'm the most active. I'm the most creative. I'm the best in the world at what I do. It is what it is, right? So Little glitches, it doesn't mean anything to me, right? We always come through. And it's a prime example of, in the beginning of this journey, as I pull back the curtain, right? One of the things that I worried about so much was what could possibly go wrong. Glitches, unexpected events. I used to think that maybe a meteor, something would just come crashing through my living room window in the midst of me doing a live. That something crazy would happen that would, totally throw everything off, would leave me in a position that, you know, of embarrassment. You know, that's the one thing that most people fear, embarrassment, being put on a spot in a way that, you know, exposes them to criticism. Anything could possibly happen. One of the things that a lot of people fear, good thing that I don't have this problem. I keep my house clean, right? But people fear, doing a live and, either having, let's say, a smoke detector go off and you hearing that beeping sound in the background, or, doing a live and, if you live in the hood, depending on where you from, back in the day, we used to have roaches and stuff like that. So imagine doing a live and seeing a roach run across somebody's wall. Now that would be funny, but that would be an embarrassing situation for that particular person. And I've seen a few videos where, things like that have occurred. And, the first thing that comes to my mind is, how embarrassing is it for that particular person? And, just looking at the situation, I always wonder or look forward to seeing if that person shows up again. If they let that one situation that occurs affect them and stop them from moving forward. Do they end the live stream? Do they tuck their tail and run, as the saying goes? Or do they keep moving forward? Do they turn something like, let's say, a roach on the wall into a moment of, you know, a moment of whatever? You know, draw attention yourself to it. Say, hey, look at that roach. Look at that roach on the wall. Even the roach want to hear what I have to say. You know, anything can happen in any given moment, but it's all on you how you decide to deal with it. And becoming a online marketer is something that requires you to be able to anticipate and look forward to any and all situations occurring. So, as we move forward, we're in strong 46, day 1, and we are right at 18 minutes into today's challenge, right? I think about this past weekend and all of the events that occurred. Now, we had some crazy things occur this past weekend, right? Now, it might not be in one of my feeds, but it might just be there. So, I always pull up one of my most valuable tools, which is the new tab section on my browser. And the new tab section often shows, some very, very exciting events that took place within the last few days or the last couple of weeks. And, you know, this week in the United States, it was, it was pretty chaotic. It was something that, we haven't seen in a little while, but it's becoming something that's, kind of hmm, happening more often than not. Now, over this past weekend, there was a White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? And from the last time that we got together, there was another shooting. There was another attempt at, some type of drama. Let's say that. We don't want to mess with the algorithm or get ourselves in any type of trouble, right? We know that, these things is real sensitive nowadays. For whatever reason, it's real sensitive. But there's some things that happen that, it's the third major event that's happened related to our American president. Now, these situations, thankfully, thankfully, they don't end in real tragic ways. So that's a good thing. People have, been going through things since the beginning of time. Different leaders have gone through situations. Different presidents have gone through situations, and some didn't make it out, right? But this one right here, Donnie T, as I call him, he has, you know, he's a wild cat. He's a wild cat. I'm gonna say that, and he might actually have 9 lives. He might have 9 lives, and hopefully nobody continues to attempt to pluck off each one of those, right? So that's something that if you're interested, you can look that up yourself to see what's been going on here in the United States. But it's been wild over this past weekend. But another thing that popped up, that when I opened up the tab today, I saw this, and as you saw that beginning training, right? I let my AI business partner take the day off, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna share with you guys a training that I created myself, a little short, brief training that I created based off of a previous article that I saw over this past weekend, right? And I was in a live webinar last week. Matter of fact, it might have been Friday or Saturday, and they talked about trends and keeping up with trending stories. Now, me personally, you know, a lot of times when I hear things from some of my coaches, some of my business partners, I say to myself, man, I've been talking about this for years. I've been saying this and beating at that same drum for years. So it inspires and motivates me to know that, as my dad would say, every place that you're going, I've already been there. And just knowing that, okay, I've been studying this industry, I've been, mastering certain aspects of this industry, and the things that I know to be true are being restated. It's being restated in different ways, is being presented by different people to newer audiences. And as I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm saying to myself, man, I've been talking about this for years. I've been sharing analytics and talking about Google Trends, for examples. I've done videos in the past years and years ago, and moving forward, showing different trends and talking about news stories and everything like that. And just to see it being brought up again, I'm saying to myself, wow, hmm, you know, every place that they're going, I've already been. And then, you know, I'm listening to the training, maybe that same training or another training, and then they're talking about, you know, AI tools and building apps. And I'm saying to myself, wow, that's interesting. Everywhere that you're going, I've already been. I've been creating apps and doing that thing myself for a while, even before a lot of the AI tools were allowing you to be able to, code and build apps within them. I've been using HTML to be able to build, um, I guess you would say, I don't want to say low grade or low quality apps and tools, but things that, might have been minor, things that, you know, doesn't have as much coding involved. But I've been there. And I said to myself, you know something? One of the biggest issues that you have, now talking about me personally, I said, I have conversations with myself, right? So I say to myself, one of the biggest issues that you have is that you're so skilled, you're so talented, you're so consistent, but you're also very reserved. You keep a lot of things to yourself. You have so many skills and so many things that you can do, and you do them, and you create things on the low, and you hold back. You hold back. You have catalogs of information, valuable things that you've done for years, and then you hold off on releasing it. You have a problem with, you know, Maybe you have a problem with hoarding in a way. Maybe you maybe due to your upgrowing, your upbringing and the things that you've experienced in your life, you might have a fear of loss. You might have a fear of, you know, um not having enough, or having something taken from you, or not, not being able to, show up consistently. You always need to feel like you have something in the tuck, so to speak, so that you never run out. And I say, or I answer back to myself and I say, yeah, you know something, I might have that problem. I think I do. And the one thing about it is, I'm starting to lose fear of that particular aspect of my personality. The aspect that says, man, I need to hold off on this. I'm gonna release it slowly. I'm gonna just trickle it out. That fear of not having enough, or running out. Back in the day growing up, it was various situations in life growing up where, we had limited access to things. Sometimes it could have been food. Hey, you have a certain amount of food that's going to get you through the week, and you better not, if you try to eat it all in one day, then you screwed for the rest of the week, right? So situations like that, you might have experienced that type of life growing up. You might have, you know, felt like you had to hold on to certain things and, piece it out little by little, just so that you wouldn't run out, so that at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you wouldn't be at a loss. But I learned. I learned through consistently showing up, through showing the world who I really am, for showing myself that I really am that dude, right? I am him. I'm the person that I say I am on a daily basis, because I prove myself on a daily basis. And the fact that, I will never run out of content, because I will never run out of, you know, content ideas. Every day I'm shown new ways of doing things. And if it's not a new way of doing things, then it's an old way that I already know how to do it. And I'm able to apply it to one of a million different opportunities, just like that beginning training showed you. I'm able to have a conversation, as when I was growing up as an only child. I had to have conversations, with myself. I had to be able to reason and do those type of things, and analyze situations and go through things in my life by myself. And I had to be the answer. I had to ask the questions. So me doing a live, virtually talking to no one, but talking to everyone, right? To whoever might see this live, I'm able to do that consistently for 46 strong weeks, right? That's over 225 lives that I've done. And not lives that's been 1 minute long, 2 minutes long, and then run out of gas and not know what to say, not know what to do, but consistent lives that have lasted upwards of an hour, 2 hours, or more. So I've conditioned myself through my experiences to be able to do these things. And that's given me the confidence to know that I can continue to do these things without worry of running out of anything. I could talk to you about Michael Jackson, the biopic, how it smashes box office records. Haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I can talk to you about that and relate it to my primary overall, niche, and what we're focused on: affiliate marketing, online marketing. I could take any situation and turn it into a teachable moment, because that's what I've conditioned and trained myself to be able to do. I'm becoming more of an expert in my field. I'm a practitioner of this particular industry. So, with that, I want to talk to you guys about a few things. I might go off on a couple of different tangents, a couple of different angles, but I want you guys to understand that everything is valuable and everything is worth listening to and focusing on. I want you to get out of your state of mind that keeps you on a narrow tunnel vision, road. Because if you stay on a tunnel vision type of road, then you will never be able to see or never be willing to go across the street, walk around the corner, see what's on the next road. You'll always think that there's only one way of doing things. And at beginning training, hopefully that showed you and taught you that there's more than one way to do online marketing. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about a specific article that, you know, it resurfaced. So I shared that beginning training for a few different reasons, right? Everything has a purpose, and it usually has multiple purposes. But look, within the last 11 hours, this particular article came out. So this right here seemingly is something that's trending. So back to the idea of trending and knowing what to actually talk about and focus on that the world might really be interested in. And if you can jump ahead of the trends and find out what it is that the world might really be interested in, then you can get one of the most valuable things that we always talk about and that every business needs, and that is traffic. One of your biggest challenges in your online business, or I should say, the biggest challenge in your online business, will be getting traffic. How do you attract people to see the opportunity that you have? Well, following the trends is one way. It's not the only way, but it's a great way because following the trends allows you to take advantage of things that are spiking, things that are, being heavily searched. Now, they might only be searched for a short time frame, depending on the type of story it is, depending on, what's going on in the world. We talk about politics on a daily basis, right? And hopefully you understand that this isn't a political platform, but we understand that politics influences the majority of the things that happen in the world. It influences your online business a whole lot more than you probably want to realize, and it influences your life more than you want it to. But knowing how politics are and just thinking about like this past week's situation with the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? And the reason or the reasons why that possibly happened. Whether you like a person or not, whether you like a person's policies or you dislike a person's policies, that can affect how you look at life. A lot of Americans might look at it in a way like, hey, man, I don't even want to be here in this country. They might look at it that way and say, hey, they're looking at alternate opportunities in order to, live their lives. So I just want to click on this particular article, right? And I don't want to dive too deep into it because we've talked about it already. But as you can see, a rehashing of what is going on was important enough for them to reshare it and re-update this information. But once again, it says Canada's ancestry law triggers US citizenship rush. Why is that? Well, if you pay attention to what's going on in the world, if you pay attention to the politics, if you pay attention to understanding your possible target audience and how they feel about things, then this could make sense to you. And this could be very valuable. But you don't just apply it to this. You don't just look at this and say, well, I don't care about Canada and ancestry and all this type of stuff. But you should, because this right here is just a small inkling of how you can have proper mindset shift and how you can use that mindset shift to apply it to any and every type of situations in the world. It could be any little thing. You can see an article about, a bread manufacturer going out of business. And that can be a valuable situation for you because we know there's multiple bread manufacturers, right? So what happened with that particular one? It could be anything. But this right here, due to the politics, people are really considering. And I remember at the beginning of this political season or this administration's term, there was a lot of people talking a whole lot of mess. Like, hey, if this dude wins, people were talking about, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to Canada. I'm going. Less people said they were going to Mexico because we hear some things about what goes on in Mexico and say, hey, we want to stay out. We want to stay away from there. But a lot of people were saying, hey, we want to go to our neighbors to the north, to Canada. So for Canada to get a influx of United States citizens that want to become Canadian, once again, that makes that beginning training that I gave you guys that much more valuable because now as it says here, a December 2025 law ending Canada's first generation limit on citizenship by descent has made millions of Americans with Canadian ancestry eligible for dual nationality. So, first and foremost, like, how would it feel to be able to have more access if you're in North America? So, North America basically consists of three parts. You got Mexico, United States, and Canada. And for the majority of people, they only have access to, let's say, a third of North America. Whatever country that they have citizenship in, that's, as far as they can, live in, go to, they can travel and, go on vacation or whatever, but you can't stay if you're not a citizen, right? But what if there was a way that you can actually take advantage of being able to travel and live in two-thirds of North America, having more access to North America than, let's say, 90 plus percent of Americans have, right? 95%. Now, a lot of people want to have exclusivity. They want to know that, hey, they're special. They want to feel, part of an exclusive group of people. Whatever it is, private clubs, private Facebook groups, right? Private access to exclusive trainings. All of these things make people feel special. And no matter what it is, people will clamor to take advantage of it. If you have something that, everybody has access to or everybody wants and, they can easily and readily get their hands on, like a loaf of bread from the store, then it becomes less valuable. It becomes something that, has a lower price tag that most people, they look at it and say, hey, it's not that valuable, so I'm not willing to spend that much on it. But when you have something like this, the ability to take advantage of two-thirds of North America, I want you to think about that. Being able to have access, more access, to be able to spread your wings, move your family around. Hey, I have a summer home in Florida. I have a winter home in Canada, or whichever works best. If you like the warm weather, you might not want to go to Canada and live there around certain months of the year. Then you have to start thinking about other things. We can get into, the equator and, weather situations. Hey, the farther away from the equator you go, the colder it gets, right? So, if you don't like the cold, then you might not want to necessarily move all the way up to Canada, or you might not want to live there in December. So these are all things to consider. And these are all things that you can use and focus on in order to help you create a future for yourself. Imagine you followed my instructions in that beginning training and you started to deep dive into this and you started to target the millions of Americans with Canadian ancestry and you shared with them the various ancestry apps or tools that will allow them to get information to see if they qualify. And as they're, you know, getting that information, these companies, they don't do this stuff for free, right? So, of course, those millions of Americans would have to pay those companies for their information. But if you referred them as an affiliate, you would be able to get commissions. Now, I know in the one I was specifically talking about in that beginning training, I went through the process of actually applying to be an affiliate. The application process is very simple. Now you just have to wait for approval. Now, the one other thing that I found out about it is that the commission rate is only 5%. And a lot of people, they say, hey, well, I want to make big money. I want to do this, that, and the third. And they say 5% commissions isn't enough. They think that when someone presents an opportunity to them to earn 75% commissions or something like that, they look at that as being, you know, I have to take advantage of that because that's going to get me the best wins. No, that's not necessarily true. Now, nothing is guaranteed when it comes to doing online marketing. It's a business, so you have to treat it like a real business. So, most people never earn anything when they do online marketing. And that's because they don't take the time to learn the necessary skills. So the same person that has a opportunity that has a 75% commission or 100% commission, they can actually do worse than a person that has an opportunity that only compensates them 5% commissions. Why? Because their skill set, the way they actually target their audience, the amount of people that they have to go after in order to, create something, worth doing. Now, a lot of people, they might say, "Hey, I can become an Amazon affiliate, but I'm not going to do that because Amazon only pays 1 to 10% commission, but this other program pays this, that, and the third." And they'll negate the fact that Amazon has millions and millions of products that you have access to. And there's people on there that are living comfortable lives by promoting items that only pay 5% or less commissions. So it's not about the commission rate, it's about the individuals that take advantage of the opportunity in their particular skill sets. So it's on you to learn the necessary skills. And that's the one thing that a lot of people aren't willing to invest in. They take their time looking at the flash, the sizzle, all of these things that they think is important. And then they miss out on, what's really important. The things that's hidden within articles. So as it says here, immigration lawyers report surging applications with processing time stretching to 10 months and 56,000 cases pending. The change offers broad rights to live and work in Canada, though spouses and stepchildren are not automatically covered. Hmm. So that's one of those, little catches that some of them catches. So what if a person is interested in that going there, but they fall under one of these categories? The spouse might not be eligible. The stepchildren might not automatically be covered. Well, there's a key word, are not automatically covered. So that leaves room for you as the person that's becoming an expert in this particular niche. It's on you to find out how do they actually become covered. And if you can find that out, then maybe you can create a helpful lead magnet that would educate people who might be in this specific situation. And what would that actually look like? What would the advertisement look like for this particular lead magnet? Well, the headline could say something like this: Are you thinking about becoming a Canadian citizen, but your spouse and your stepchildren do not have Canadian ancestry? Hmm. That could be something that a person's asking themselves right now. How do I actually make this happen? I don't want to go up there by myself. Yeah, I just did the ancestry thing and I found out that my great 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 grandmother, grandfather is of Canadian descent. Wow, I'm excited now. I tell the family that hey, we can go to Canada now. But no, we can't. Yeah, maybe I can because I got the ancestry done and I found out that it was my ancestor. But what about the rest of the family? That person gets excited for a moment, not knowing the case and what actually is the terms and conditions. What if you had that document that would give them the information? Because they're going to start looking it up. They're going to start doing their research to find out what is it that I need. And when there's different situations that pop up, now this right here might be something, as we can see, is very popular, right? Because it says here millions of Americans with Canadian ancestry eligible for dual nationality. And it says here that 56,000 cases are pending. So 56,000, when you think of a country with over 330 million people, right? 56,000 isn't a lot. That means, or that could mean a few different things. It could mean that, as it says here, millions are eligible, but only 56,000 cases are pending, which means that there's a big gap between the cases that are pending and the cases that can actually be heard. And it could be a big gap because there's a gap in information. Maybe there's not a lot of people talking about this or sharing the opportunity for those millions of people to learn about this opportunity. That could be you. That could be you in whatever specific niche that you are serving. So, hopefully, for the right person, this right here has given you what we call a light bulb moment. A moment where you're able to take helpful information and use it to your benefit. Now, me personally, I want to be able to share with you the opportunity to acquire an unlimited amount of light bulb moments. Things that most people will never be able to identify because they won't be looking for it because they have such narrow tunnel vision. I want to be able to give you the opportunity to learn the foundational skills needed in order to put these things into practice and turn it into a real, actual business. So, right now, I want to actually access for you one of the foundational tools that I use on a daily basis, a platform that I've been sharing with people for a while now that has served me well for a few years. And I've been consistently, you know, engulfed in this particular platform because it continuously teaches and educates not only myself, but the people that I share this opportunity with, right? It educates them and gives them various ways of looking at online marketing. Now, we have a few things coming up. So I'm going to refresh this page because I haven't refreshed it in a little bit, right? And there's always something new that comes up. So as you can see, I refreshed it. And right now, for example, there's a live going on that I'm missing, right? But You know, it's okay because we have to do what we have to do. We can't make every meeting, every live. But the good thing about it is the lives that I can't make, I have other business partners that are able to attend them, and we're able to share information and discuss these pieces of information that was shared here so that we can all still get the knowledge. And in a matter of 2 hours and 9 minutes from now, I'll be on a mastermind meeting with a few of those individuals where we'll be able to discuss what happened in this particular live. So that's part of what we call building a leverage system. A system where you have not only yourself doing the work, because there's only but so much time in a day. You can be a person that works a 9 to 5 or nowadays a 9 to 8, and you're not able to attend this live that I'm doing for you now or this live that's currently going on at 9. But if you build a real online business that's based off of having leverage, you can actually have a team of individuals that can fill that void. And this is one of the things that most people don't talk about. They teach you about the flash, the things that you might think are important, but I want to help you fill that void so that you know exactly what is important and how to create something that's going to lead to your benefit. Now, as you can see, there's a training going on right now at 9, and there's another live event that's going on that's going to start at 10 a.m. So, in another 8 minutes. So, with that, I'm not going to stay on here too much longer because I want to be able to attend that. I want to be able to look at that and actually get access to the information that's going to be shared on that one, which it says here at 10 o'clock's meeting is going to be the Cave Cast. And this is episode 5. 7 years student reveals all. It says in this episode, our special guest shares how he discovered affiliate marketing and why it took 6 months to earn his first commission, why so many successful people still feel unfulfilled, and what actually gives you the buzz, the truth about imposter syndrome and social media comparison, how to balance business, family, health, and mental well being. These are things that's important. These are things that's valuable. These are things that will help you build a successful life altogether. See, now we don't focus on, money because that comes and goes, right? You can possibly not earn anything, but the things that's really valuable, the things that'll teach you and set you up with the proper mindset, you are always able to learn those things. And you have to look at those things as being the things of value. The information, how you interpret it, and how you apply it. That's what's going to be most important. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few other things, but like I said, I want to be able to join this live and I want you to join it also. So, if you're interested, I want you to comment hustle. And if there's a replay and you can't make it live, then I want to make sure that I get you that replay opportunity for this right here, the Cave Cast, and any other additional trainings that we have. But before I leave, I want to show you just a screenshot because, I mentioned to you guys about apps. And when I see other people doing apps and using AI, and people say, hey, they're great at AI and all this stuff, I say to myself, well, they yeah, they all right. They all right with it. But they don't do what I do. This is me having a little petty moment. I appreciate what everybody else does and I respect what everybody else does, but then I look at it and I say, man, well, they don't do what I do. It's a fact. It's a fact. They don't do it the way I do it. They don't, you know, They ain't got that hustler in them. They don't have that same spirit, that same soul. They don't put the same soul into what they do the way I do. But that's for me, not for them. It's on me to be myself and to be my authentic self enough so that I attract my particular audience and I can bring them into our overall, you know, hustleverse. And it's on you to be your authentic self so that people attract to you that possibly wouldn't attract to me, and you can still bring them within our hustleverse. But this right here, before I close out, this is one of my apps. This is just one of them, right? So I told you guys that I have things in the tuck, things that I do on a daily basis that I work on, that I create that you haven't seen yet. But we're going to start sharing, posting a lot more and exposing how we are who we are here in the hustleverse. But this right here is what I call the hustle state. This right here is an exclusive tool that I created that will allow you to create what we call your own help statements and your marketing strategies to help you build your online business. So this tool essentially has three sections. One for creating your help statement, which allows you to generate powerful statements that attract your ideal clients and communicate your unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition, not the value proposition of 100 or 1,000 other people that you're trying to mimic or imitate, but for you. So if you're someone that's sharing information about how to help people become citizens of Canada, then you plug your information in here and it's going to help you create that help statement. If you want to market to that specific niche of people, then this will transform your help statement into a complete social media strategy with content ideas and targeting so that you can target those individuals. Now, if you want to have a library of your content, then you'll be able to access all your saved help statements and marketing strategies in one organized place. And if you also want to schedule it on a calendar, you can actually set up your calendar for the week so that you know what you're posting on a daily basis. Now, if you're interested in getting access to this exclusive tool, then all you have to do is start off here, where we always tell you the most valuable document in all of online marketing, the Hustler's 10-Minute a Day Challenge Doc. All you have to do is grab your mega link, which is that minimal investment into yourself of just a one-time access investment of $7. It'll give you the foundational skills that you need, which I showed you on that previous page. You'll be able to access various trainings and be able to get access to exclusive tools. You'll also be able to get access to, you know, that edutainment bundle that I have for you guys with the album of the year for 2025 and the album of the year for 2026. So you'll get the edutainment bundle. And as an additional bonus, I will give you access to this particular tool here so that you can use it for your benefit. But this is only a limited time offer. The $7, you know, is a minimal investment into yourself. But if you don't take advantage of this soon, then the price of that will be going up and it will only be available for those on our higher tier plans. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. If you're interested, comment hustle. I want to be able to share with you guys all of the things that we have access to. You know, I put in the work. I create the tools. I use the tools. It's helpful and we're always advancing. So with that, we're going to close out the same way that we always do with some more edutainment. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Comment hustle once again so that you can join and be a part of the Hustleverse. See you in the next video.
woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence, even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spin like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm free in the